Hallie, I think this is exactly the right message, and I'm going to read it here. You said, conversation is the workhorse of the organization. Elaborate on that.
Yeah. Conversations are the way we get things done, right? They're the through line through how we build teams and how we move those teams along. Put simply, what gets talked about in an organization, how it gets talked about, and who is invited to the table does determine what is going to happen or what is not going to happen. So mastering conversations and really understanding the impact that they have in our organizations is incredibly important. I just read that a university in the US has completed a study that proves that when you add a child into a relationship, the relationship suffers. And I kind of wanted to say, duh! Okay, if you need a study to prove that, that's great. And I'm speaking for the majority. It happened with my relationship. My relationship with my partner before kids was incredibly strong. Our conversations were all about one another. What are you doing? What do you want to do? What are your dreams? How can I help you? How can I support you? And I got the same back. We had kids. Wow. Okay, so we were trying to survive. Yes, there's that part. And we got lazy. The conversations, what do you think it centered around? This thing that was really good at using its voice. Oh, all the conversations about the diaper bag, I don't even want to talk about. Is it alive? Is he fed? I mean, what is that? So I didn't have any brothers. Lots of conversations about my darling son, Nico, no conversations with one another. And when we would have a moment to kind of periscope up and just surface, if my partner asked me, so how are you? I would just say, I don't want to talk about it. I'm tired. And gradually, then suddenly, we found ourselves in a relationship that was incredibly brittle, to the point of almost breaking. Lucky for me, I do this for a living, and it occurred to me that we needed to shift our conversations.
Jim Collins talked about culture, but you kind of backed into it. How does conversation equal culture?
The conversation is the relationship. Conversations aren't about relationships. They can be, that's a component.
Yeah.
But what relationships are made up of are conversations. So if you and I want a relationship that's collaborative, we need to be having conversations that are inspiring in both ways. If we want to have an honest relationship, we need to be able to tell one another the truth and be a place where truth-telling can occur. When you look at conversations being the relationships, what is culture? Culture, for me, is the culmination of your relationships. So if you want to shift the culture, if you want to shift anything for that matter, including your marriage, you need to back it out. Well, what are the elements, attributes I want in the culture? Do I have those relationships? Probably not. That's usually where the problem occurs. So what can I put into the conversation? Create those relationships and then create the culture that I inspire.
Fourth principle, tackle your toughest challenge today. How many of you like to procrastinate? Yeah, I'm really good at this. I can wait just until the right amount of time. Somehow I can just finish it in. Get what I need to get done. That doesn't do a whole lot for my stress level, but I am an adrenaline junkie. It kind of works for me. But it doesn't work when it comes to conversations with people that I need to have that I'm putting off. You can think of it in this way. One of our facilitators, Jim, he tells a story, so I have to steal it. Jim, I'm giving you credit. He was standing out in his lawn with a neighbor admiring the lawn across the street. And he was standing in weeds. And this other lawn was beautiful, manicured, flowers, and Jim told his neighbor, he said, man, I wish I could have a lawn like that. I wish I could have a yard like that. And his neighbor said, Jim, if you had that yard, it would look like this in 3 months. Good point. We want all the pretty nice things, we just don't want to do the work. But conversations that we know we need to have are like weeds. I mean, if there's a weed that pops up in your grass or lawn, what do you do? For all of you people that are actual gardeners and take care of things, what do you do as soon as you see a weed? You throw it out. Because if you don't, what happens? They multiply. They have babies. They invite their friends. So, tackle your toughest challenge today. It is very nice to proceed through life agenda-free and free of these stones in your backpack of conversations that you know you need to have.